Hey guys, this is Gary from Demigods Music, and this is part 2 of my deconstructions of the Daft Punk Discovery album. So we've got track number 2, Aerodynamic. Now the original comes from this Sister Sledge track called Il Maquillage Lady. So let's have a quick listen to the rough area where the samples are going to be taken from. Let me just play this for you. So you can already start to hear those familiar guitar licks that were used in the final sample. This one's a little bit more tricky than One More Time, in that the parts that are sampled are very chopped and changed around, and it took me quite a long time to work out which parts went where. But I'll explain as quick as I can how to put it all together, and we'll try and get it sounding as close to the original, well, to the Daft Punk version as possible. I've just got the very intro to Daft Punk's Aerodynamic here, as it's such a complex little sample, the way they put little parts together from the Sister Sledge track. I thought we'd just concentrate on this very opening bit. And if you wanted to expand it further, it probably wouldn't take that long, because it's a similar process once you've done the first bit. The first bit is the hardest, the finding out. So I've just looped this bit, and this is the bit that we're going to try and recreate now. To match the Daft Punk version, I've tuned down the Sister Sledge sample just by one semitone, and then increased the sense tuning up to about 30 to 40, just to get it as close to that as possible. This is so when we A and B between the two, we can clearly hear which parts we want to get. To save time in this video, I've already snipped out the bits that I think make up the sample as close as I could possibly get it, without spending hours and hours and hours in minute detail. As you can see here, I've split it into two different tracks. The first one is the kind of downbeat bass notes, and then here on the second track I've got the little guitar licks. So let's hear the parts that I've taken out. You can see they're very brief, short little samples here. This is the first track, the bass line. So it's a very distinct bass tone, and I think they definitely did use that. Although they may well have doubled up with their own bass sound as well, which I'm adamant they did. And let's hear the guitar line separately. So there's only these two ones here are the same sample, and these two are slightly different notes. And the guitar line, that part and that part are exactly the same, and this is just one little note on its own. So although it looks complicated putting on two tracks like that, it's actually simple in that they've only used 3 or 4 actual different sounds. It's how they've chopped them up and reordered them that makes it so unique and sounds more complex. So let's hear them both together. So it's a really nice use of the offbeat bass on that second bass note there. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag in to the arrangement view, the Daft Punk version, and just pop it at the top there. Don't need the Sister Sledge original anymore. Delete that. And what we're going to do, we're going to A-B between the two, and we're going to add some effects to these to try and get it sound as close as possible to Aerodynamic. So what I'm going to do first of all is create a whole new audio track, Command T. And what I want to do is feed the sound of these two tracks into this one, just so that we can apply effects to one track rather than keep doubling up everything. Clicking on here, I'm going to enable resampling. Set it to in. Okay, so I just want to make sure that my versions are enabled. The Daft Punk version is not, so that we don't hear it in our single recording down here. We're record enabled on our new track, and let's press record. Okay, there we have our new single recording here. So what we can do is, well actually first of all let's just check it's okay. I'm going to solo it. Sounds absolutely fine, great. So we can delete our two original ones. So now we can really simply A-B between the two and get our effects on this single one and get it as close to the original as possible. I'm just going to refamiliarise myself with the original just so I can hear this kind of effects that we want to start putting on. So soloing the Daft Punk one. Similarly to the One More Time song, there's definitely some bit crushing, some audio degradation going on. So the very first thing I want to do is add a redux. And we're going to increase the downsample just a little bit. Let's hear ours on its own now. And we're going to increase this. That's maybe too much. So I can only do this in increments of 1 each time, so on this hard setting. So I'm going to change that to soft, and then we can make the adjustments more slight. See, that's a bit too much. I'm just going to rein it back now. Okay, let's compare that now. Maybe a touch more. To save a bit more time, I've had a look at some effects that I think bring this version closer to the Daft Punk version. So I've got 2 auto filters here, one with a low cut and one with a high cut, and little bumps there in the bass and in the mid bright area up here. And also I've got this great plugin from Waves called the One Knob Brighter, and I reckon about 70% here gives us some nice top end which really brings the whole sound to life. So now let's hear the original once again. And now ours. So there you go, pretty close, not too bad. There we go, track 2 deconstructed. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. I look forward to seeing you next week when I'll be doing track number 3.